We're gabbing. We're gabbing. We're gabbing. We're gabbing. We're gabbing. We're gabbing.
Welcome to GabBin
Gabbing
with Greicy
and Heather.
Hello.
I was going to make a margarita and then I got lazy.
Oh, I understand.
So I have coffee. I have my typical coffee with the cinnamon, but now I'm adding chili powder to it as well.
What? Chili powder? Obviously, that tastes good to you because you're not like disgusted or anything. So
yeah, I'm not dumping a whole bunch of chili powder. It's just like a little bit of chili powder. It's kind of like what you would do with like hot chocolate.
I don't know. I dumped the whole thing of hot chocolate. What are you talking about?
No, but like you can add like a little bit of chili powder to your hot chocolate.
I have no idea what you're talking. I guess I'm missing out on something. I guess I am.
So I have my coffee, and then I have a raspberry lime seltzer.
I like raspberry. Anything raspberry.
Me too.
When I have the actual fruit, I'm like, ooh, because I'm so used to eating or drinking, I should say, all the liquids that when I finally get to have the raspberry, it throws me off. I have leftover wine from last week, and out of laziness, I took a new bottle and I put it in a red Solo cup. And it's a South African rosé wine by, Gun Bay Wines.
Nice. Like the only thing I really did this week was I saw Mariska Hargitay?
Yes.
Anderson Cooper has like a podcast. I forget what it's called, but it's all about grief because he's had to experience a lot of loss and stuff, like especially when he was like younger. He interviews people and they discuss grief and stuff like that. So he had Mariska Hargitay on, and I don't know if you know, but her mother was Jane Mansfield. It was like a really good discussion that they were having and stuff like that. And she mentioned that she had done a documentary about her mother called My Mother Jane on HBO Max. And so I was like, oh, let me watch this. I don't really know anything about Jane Mansfield except like about the horrific car accident she was in, and that I knew her daughter was in the car with her. I didn't know all her kids were in the car, and I didn't know like any of them. So I watched it and it was really interesting. It wasn't like great, like I wasn't like riveted, but I was like, oh, it's really interesting. Now I know more about Jane Mansfield and like Mariska Hargitay.
Yeah. The name of the podcast is All There Is with Anderson Cooper.
Thank you. All There Is with Anderson Cooper. It's one of those podcasts that like I forget exists, and then when I come across it, I'm like, oh, I really like this. But it's also
really
like
great
interviewer. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely like it's one that you have to be like emotionally prepared for because it does go into like really deep topics and things like that. But yeah, I definitely recommend it. So, and I would recommend My Mother Jane. It was good.
And like Mariska Hargitay, I had no idea her mom was Jane Mansfield. And recently I've been reading that her dad isn't the man who raised her. Is not her dad. It was another individual, a performer in Las Vegas. I cannot recall his name right now.
Yeah, he was in Las Vegas at some point. That actually comes out in the documentary because she found out when she was in her 20s by actually like a super fan of her mother's, where he's like, oh, do you want to see a picture of your father, your biological father? And she was like, what? And so she talks in the podcast and in the documentary, she talks about how she confronted her father and how he was like, he denied it. And like, she saw from his reaction, like, oh, this is something that he can't deal with. Like, cause he was just like, what do you mean? Like, of course you're my daughter. Like, who would tell you that you're not my daughter, blah, blah, blah. And so she ends up finding out like the actual story from her biological father. And she has a relationship with him and her half siblings and stuff like that for like years in secret. And she actually tells a funny story about like how that she was at some event where her father and sister were at her biological father and sister. And Katie Couric kept coming up to her and being like, how are you guys related again? Like, because she like, I think she saw the resemblance because she looks just like her father. And so Katie Couric kept being like, how are you guys related again? Because they kept being like, oh no, they're just like friends of the family or something like that. Like they were trying to play it off because they didn't want it to come out. But now that her father that raised her is no longer here, it came out in the documentary.
To have Katie Couric perpetually ask that question is just like nerve wracking. I would just be like,
she said that's when she realized like what a, I don't know if burden's the right word, but that's the only word I can think of. Like how she was like putting this burden on her biological family by having them keep the secret, because she was the one that didn't want it coming out.
Because of the father who raised her.
Yeah.
That's sad.
Yeah.
That is sad.
Because she had like a very close relationship with her father.
Of course, that was her dad.
And he knew from the very beginning that biologically she wasn't his, but it wasn't even like a question of like that's his daughter and he's going to raise her. Because she was only 3 when the accident happened. So from her like 3, because even like Jane Mansfield's mother like reached out to the biological father and was like, you should say something, like that's your daughter. And he was like, I'm not going to take her from the father that she has known and loves when she's being taken care of very well.
And her whole entire life, you know?
Yeah, like she just lost her mother. I'm not going to take her father. And she was badly hurt. Like she had like a head injury. And it's another thing like that I had no idea is that they actually didn't know she was in the car. Like they took all the kids to go to the hospital, like the people that found them. And her one brother woke up and said, like, where's Maria? Because she was going by Maria at the time.
Yeah.
And they were like, what do you mean? And he was like, my sister, she was in the car. So they turned around and she had, I guess she was unconscious because she had a head injury. She had been like wedged underneath the seat so nobody saw her.
Gosh.
Which is like, oh my God. Like, thank goodness her brother woke up.
I know. That's a crazy story.
Yeah. But I won't say anything more. It was interesting. It wasn't like I said, I wasn't riveted, but it was interesting.
Okay.
Definitely worth it.
Maybe one day.
Yeah. Yeah, one day when you need something to watch. It's on HBO Max. But what we're gonna talk about is also on HBO Max. But did you have anything that you wanted to talk about? Anything interesting happened this week?
Nothing. Work just being work.
We are gonna be talking. And I'm having you take the lead because this is your expertise.
Oh my God, you know I don't remember anything.
Why did take notes? We are going to talk about Boy Band Confidential, a Hollywood Demons event. And it is, quote unquote, 4 episodes, but it's really just 2 episodes that are about 1 hour and 22 minutes each. And then they have 2 like short little episodes that are like the stuff that didn't make it into the other episode.
Right. I think if you were to follow these individuals around for a year and just let them tell their stories whenever they have an opportunity, there would have been even more divulged. And it's a shame that we couldn't get everyone, like all members, to participate.
Yes.
You know? Let's start off with who are the main individuals.
And who like spearheaded this?
Joey Fatone.
Yeah,
Fame. Yes, he spearheaded this mastermind.
I wrote down the bands. Do you want me to like name the bands?
Yeah.
Because you know at the beginning they name them. So it is NSYNC, obviously, because it's Joey Fatone. Boys to Men, All for One, Backstreet Boys, LFO, 98 Degrees, O-Town, and Take 5. And okay, so out of all of these, I went and saw one of them in concert. Can you figure out which one it was?
Really?
This goes into that, like, even if I don't know a group, like I just like live music. So this was a scenario where a friend of mine from college, I think we were in college at the time, so that might narrow it down a little bit. Was going to the concert with a friend of hers. Her friend ended up having to be in the hospital and couldn't go.
Oh, no.
And so I went at the last minute. I did buy her merch. So I think I spent more than I would on the free ticket on the merch.
Well, it's still tricky because college time, it was NSYNC, Backstreet Boys, 98 Degrees, and I want to say LFO, All for One, Boys. This is everybody. What the fuck? LFO.
Boys to Men was kind of gone by then.
Okay, LFO.
No.
Who was it? Backstreet Boys.
No.
Oh, I'm doing horrible here.
It was 98 Degrees. And we actually had this conversation because now that we're talking about this, I remember telling you that I remember it was Jessica Simpson was an opener, and I didn't know who she was, and I was like, this chick is so fucking annoying.
I like Jessica Simpson.
I liked her music, after I figured out who she was. But the way she was talking, she was trying to hype everybody up, and it was just really rubbing me the wrong way. Like, it was doing the opposite on me.
It was not hyping me up.
Her, and then another boy band called No Authority, and I don't remember them at all, but I just remember that they wore these bright ass yellow tracksuits.
I think you and I saw the same tour.
Oh, so you saw 98 Degrees?
Well, little known fact, I actually saw 98 Degrees before I saw NSYNC, and I saw them at the Beacon Theater, and Jessica Simpson opened for them. And as always, I dragged my girlfriends along.
That's so funny. So this was years and years before we knew each other.
Exactly. Or even then, we were in sync.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw them in Erie, Pennsylvania. And it was a good concert. It was so many 12-year-old girls with their moms.
Oh, I don't remember that. Go figure. I guess I was in my own little world.
Well, I just remember there were so many little girls and then a group of boys from my college. And I was
that's random.
That's so random.
Okay.
But everybody was having a blast. I remember we had really great seats, and it was an outdoor arena, and it was a beautiful night, and it was we had a great time.
That's good.
Ask me to name a 98 Degree song because I can't do it.
Can you name a 98 Degree song?
No. That was one thing as they were introducing different members from different groups, I kept having to Google what were their popular songs, and then I'd be like, oh, okay, I remember that song.
But you still don't remember the name of them.
I don't. I know if you name some 98 Degree songs, I'll be like, oh yeah, but I couldn't name one right now.
I'm looking up No Authority. The name sounds familiar, but the guys and the song, I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't think they broke out like they typically would.
No, not at all.
There were so many at the time.
Okay.
But do you want to get into the people that were in the documentary? Because there were definitely some people that were missing. JC, where were you?
I think, we'll talk about that in a second because I have my thoughts. But Joey Fatone and Lance Bass from NSYNC, Nick Lachey and Jeff Timmons from 98 Degrees, AJ McLean of Backstreet Boys, Wanye Morris and Sean Stockman of Boyz II Men, Ashley Parker Angel and Erik-Michael Estrada of O-Town. Ashley used to be on O-Town, not anymore. And poor Brad Fischetti of LFO.
I want to hug him.
And there was on IMDb, it's not listing Ricky Garcia, I think was his name. He was the young one.
I was so full.
We're going to get into a really deep conversation right now, but let's start off with the lighter stuff before we get into the more heavy things. I think maybe we should proceed, unless of course, things happen.
Us get distracted and off topic?
Never. I think that this was a great documentary. Some of the things didn't surprise me, yet surprised me. I don't even know where to start. It was just so good. I was crying at the end. I was shocked and not shocked. I was confused as to why people, assuming that this is the case, are afraid to speak up about their experience being in a band. PTSD, I have no idea. But I wish that we got more information because I know that there's more stuff out there. And I'm going to go ahead and get into the deep stuff, but say you got to protect everyone at all costs. We're always talking about protect Lila at all costs, protect this, protect. These are people who genuinely really want to be individuals that can sing, that can dance, and they're being taken advantage of. Mm-hmm. And that like ticked me off. I'm like, where are the parents? But the parents are trusting these individuals to do their job.
Yeah, I don't know.
They're breaking parents' trust. They're breaking.
Yeah. I would hope that now, because of like what has come out about how things were, that parents nowadays would not trust like they do. But yeah, like it's just like the way they trusted these managers and stuff. And one of the I can't remember who it was, but it was one of the guys from Boys to Men. Like was like, this is like the only industry, or like one of the industries that like you don't have to have any education, but then like you get thrown like all these legal documents and stuff like that.
Exactly.
And how like you just don't understand. Like AJ even said, like, we thought we were doing it right. We thought we had a lawyer looking at it.
It was
okay, but it was like Lou
Pearlman's lawyer, someone that he found, so someone that he can, probably pay off.
Yeah, exactly. Because it was like all about the money. Even that one manager, I forget her name, but she was like, when she
Melinda Bell.
Yeah, when she heard Backstreet Boys sing, she like looked at Johnny, I think, and was like, cha-ching. And like Johnny was even rationalizing, like, of course I'm gonna like manage both bands, because why should I let somebody else have NSYNC when and make money and stuff off of them when I could be making money off of them? But then he was like trying to rationalize, like crazy rationalize, by being like, well, and I can at least make sure they're protected. Like there was definitely some rationalization happening.
Let's talk about Johnny Wright.
He is an interesting character.
I quote unquote have quote unquote known Johnny Wright for a very long. Like his
I had no idea who he was.
Everywhere, like, because I was just too involved in sync. And seeing this side of the story, of course, the Backstreet Boys sued him alongside Lou Pearlman.
Yeah,
of course they did, because you know what, he did screw them over. He doesn't want to admit it.
Yeah.
NSYNC, he chose NSYNC. NSYNC, they weren't going to do that to him.
Yeah, and he not only did he choose NSYNC, but he like turned on Backstreet.
Yeah, he got revenge on.
Yeah, like he was having a bit of a power trip.
Yes, I think it's
like
insane.
Yeah, like I get the ultimatum they gave him was like too much. Like obviously he was going to say no, but like he didn't have to like turn on them like did. Like that was him.
No,
it goes back to the story he was telling about Kevin and Kevin wanting to go to the club or the after party. He very much like wanted to dominate and have power over them.
And I think they wanted that too as a group.
And he told Nick to punch Kevin. Like he's got that attitude of like dominate over people.
I don't know these people from a hole in the wall, right?
I'm not saying it was wrong to tell Nick to punch Kevin, but it's just like it speaks to how he looks at power.
I think that it is a power thing, and I think that it was a two-way street, especially Kevin. Kevin has always seemed to me to be the one to have a very like stern persona. Like he's not maybe all that fun to hang out with. So I'm not surprised hearing these stories. Again, I don't know these people.
But it's big personalities. To be in this industry, you have to have like a big personality, and you have to like attention. You have to like I think it was AJ even said like you have to like you need that external validation. So I think all of that ties into the power dynamic.
Yes.
And Kevin being so much older than everybody else, that probably like had an impact as well.
Oh yeah, definitely. I can't at all imagine being in a girl group and I'm like, 22 and I have a 12-year-old in my band and I'm limited to doing things because of the younger bandmates. I'm surprised he didn't like up and leave, I guess it wasn't that much of a big deal. It was probably just as you said earlier, a power trip.
I think it was more of a big deal. Yeah, I think that dynamic was more of a big deal for Nick. He was the one being excluded from everything most of the time. That story seemed like it was just like one example where Kevin couldn't do what he wanted, but typically it was Nick that couldn't do it.
It's just because they're in a group, that doesn't mean that they have to have like a group mentality. It's okay for them to be individuals, be themselves, and go do this and go do that. With NSYNC is different because they were all closer in age, and
Yeah.
NSYNC has a more friendlier vibe compared to Backstreet Boys. If that makes
I
any
think they
sense.
also didn't they all kind of know each other for the most part. Like I
No.
know Lance didn't, but like the others didn't they? They're all like part of like a Florida crew.
Justin and JC were on the Mickey Mouse Club along with Carrie Russell, Christina Aguilera, Britney Spears, Ryan
Everybody.
Gosling, etc., etc. And if I'm not mistaken, they knew, or Joey knew either or JC and Justin and Chris. So yes, there was a connection there.
And then the original guy that Lance replaced, Joey knew him. What's his name? He was another J.
Jason. Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. So, yeah, Lance, I think, was like the only, because wasn't he like from Kentucky or Tennessee or?
I think he was from Tennessee. Oh, he's on right now. See if I rewind a little bit just to see where he said. It's from a very small town. Oh, he didn't name it? I thought he named it. Oh, well. Oh, he was from Mississippi. Ellisville, Mississippi.
Oh, Mississippi.
Yes.
That makes sense because he does have a pretty thick accent.
He really does. Oh, well, not so much. I think it comes out once in a blue moon, but not so much, I don't think. And did you know that Britney and him are related? They're like distant cousins or something?
No.
Yeah.
But isn't Kevin and somebody else on Backstreet Boys related too?
Oh, Brian Littrell. They're cousins.
Okay.
This Mr. Lou Pearlman.
May he rest in hell.
Yes. Obviously, back then, we knew he was problematic due to all the legal stuff. But there was that documentary about him that I think we actually saw, or maybe I saw. I don't know if we actually talked about it. I can't recall if it's on the podcast.
I don't think we talked about it, but I think I know what you mean because I did watch a documentary about him and like, because like I knew he was like the blimp guy, and I knew he was a piece of shit.
He was very problematic. I always wondered if he ever did something to any of the boys. I had no idea. I forgot that he created Making the Man. The Man was a genius. Like he had a great business mind, but he used it nefariously.
Yeah.
To create to get a group of boys to create two huge groups, boy band stars, like worldwide, is amazing. To think up of making the band that eventually evolved into a Diddy show, right? He got O-Town out of that. He got LFO out of that. And he had other groups that I like completely forgot about, like another girl band. I can't remember the name.
Oh, yeah, they did mention girl band.
The man was a genius. The man was a genius. Yeah. And of course, I'm not surprised that he molested who knows how many of them.
Yeah, somebody says at one point that they're pretty sure that he would choose one person per group and groom them. So that implies that somebody in NSYNC and somebody in Backstreet Boys and somebody in O-Town, even though Eric said it wasn't him.
Well, I think it was Angel.
Oh yeah, you're right.
He had a look, blonde hair, blue eyes, or light eyes. So,
and I'm sure he
was exposed.
Yeah,
Justin or Lance.
I was just about to say, like, he also probably zoned in on those that he saw as more vulnerable. Mm-hmm. So, like the younger ones, the ones that were having like some kind of situation.
Yes.
Like with Lance, it could like not to say that he was the one, but like since he was in the closet and like terrified that somebody was going to find out that he was gay, like that's a vulnerability that he could have tried to exploit.
But I also wonder if they weren't affected by this because, again, this is my perception. I don't know these people from a hole in the wall, but like I think that Lou was testing waters. He's like, these are in his brain. He's like, okay, I'm trying to get money out of these two, groups here. You never saw him with anybody based off of the other documentary. He was always alone, like whatever. Maybe he started to get lonely as time went on, and then he started to decide, I'm going to choose on the most vulnerable individual in the group and take advantage of them.
Yeah.
From what I remember, Justin's mom was always around.
Right, because I got that vibe from this documentary too, that she was like around a lot. But that doesn't mean that she wasn't unaware.
That's true. And she, like with the other poor boy, his mom was like, okay, I trust this guy. I'm going to go, go back to wherever, go do whatever. And then come back.
Is it, what's the name of the group?
Oh, the name of the group was Forever in Your Mind.
Oh, I was totally wrong. Forever in Your Mind.
There was another kid. There was another kid that was talking to the producers, and I can't remember his name. It's not Take Five. I think Take Five is a British group.
No. Are you thinking of the Robbie Williams British group?
Yes.
Because I was doing the whole time I was watching this, I kept confusing. They're like Take That or Take Back or something. Take Five was a Luke Roman.
Girl.
Because I actually had to go in and look up Robbie Williams to see like who his boy band was, because I was like, wait, I thought Take Five was the British one.
I got confused too. Take Five is the other group. I remember, again, just like the other guys, I remember the whole look and everything, but not any of the songs.
Yeah.
And the person that was on Boy Band Confidential is Tim TJ Christopher.
Like I could picture him on the documentary, but I don't remember Take Five. I think they were the only ones I really didn't remember. What was their popular song?
That's what I'm saying. Like I have no idea.
Oh, yeah.
No idea. Yeah. No idea. And one of them is married to Nikki DeLoach, who was also on the Mickey Mouse Club.
Yeah, okay. So I did try to listen to these and I didn't recognize them. It's like Shake It Off. Never Had It So Good. I didn't recognize them at all, but
It seems that they were more popular in Europe.
Yeah, I was not like a boy band person, so I just chalked it up to that.
I was, but I think that I never took to them. It was just one boy band too many, I guess.
Well, yeah, it's kind of like No Authority. Like, there's just so many of them out there.
I mean, I was into NSYNC. I was into Backstreet Boys, 98 Degrees. I liked Five, a British group, BB Mac. I think that was it. That's five groups right there. It was more than enough.
And NSYNC took a lot of that space up for you.
They took all my money. They took all my money.
Justin needs to give some of that back to you.
Let's talk about Justin. Maybe I've already brought this up. I don't know, but I resent him. I have issues with him. I got massive gripes, right? Because I genuinely think he screwed the guys over. And hearing Joey makes me think that there's a lot of unresolved.
Yeah, it sounds like they never talked about it. It was never talked about.
Like they never talked about it, and it sounds like he made it. He was smart in how he talked about it.
He didn't want to put it on Justin.
He didn't want to put on Justin. It sounded at first like it was Justin, and then he continued to speak, and it sounded as though he was talking about the record label.
Yeah,
did not talk about it. That's what happened.
I mean, ultimately, it's on Justin too, because he didn't communicate with them, but they were probably giving him grace as well because he was young. Like he was still really young then. He wanted to.
I truly believe that they all do care and love for each other. If he wanted that, okay, fine, which is exactly what happened. You want to do your solo? Okay, cool. But I think based off of what he said, there was the expectation that you're going to come back and we're going to continue doing this. And if I'm not mistaken, it was Melinda Bell, who was the music manager, who said they were only really around for like 2-3 years. They were not around for, I said 2-3 years, excuse me. They were not around for a long time. Like they had a very short run. They had a huge impact, but they had a very short run.
Which is wild. That's so wild that it was only 4 years.
It makes me think what more they could have done, but then we wouldn't have had, Crimea River, Rock Your Body, Sexy, like none of these great Justin Timberlake songs. And I will say this, his last album is actually a very good fucking album. It's not out there because people are kind of over Justin Timberlake. Like he's back then, he's not now. And he kind of screwed himself over because, unfortunately, as we talked about in a previous podcast, he wanted to venture off and do something different. The album before, I think, was more country. I don't think anybody was really wanting to hear that, so it didn't do so well. And this album, I don't think it did so well, the last one, because people are kind of over it. My take, I don't know.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like, one, how people don't like change. Like, people don't want their artists to venture too far off of their beaten path. And it's like they're artists. They're like motivation. At least you would think their motivation is to be creative. So in that creativity, they're going to want to explore and try new things. So like, we need to all chill.
Yeah.
And then also like the people get over it was kind of a theme in this. It happened with Boyz II Men, where when they took a break and then when they tried to come back, it was like everybody had moved on and they were over it. And then the 98 Degrees thing was wild, how they like had a performance on September 10th and then 9/11 happened and they just didn't do anything after that because the whole world had changed and like people had kind of moved on to something different.
Yep. We're fickle individuals.
Yeah.
We are not to be trusted.
So it's like, yeah, like if anybody tries to even take a break or if something big happens, like somebody's career can just be like over.
I'm going to use Bruno Mars as an example right now. He was away for a long time. He came back.
He was. You're right. I didn't even think about that. He was like super hot. And then you didn't hear about him for a while.
No. And his new album is like really good. But let me go and be curious and see where it is on the Billboard charts.
Yeah.
He's dropped 2 singles.
Well, he's doing a lot of collabs, it seems like, too.
Yes, like he's keeping himself out there. And that's the thing with Joey and Lance and Nick. Like, they're keeping themselves busy. Nick Lachey. They're keeping themselves
Lance
busy.
Especially. That man's got hustle, and we appreciate hustle.
I have to say, Lance did not have Lance was my least favorite. I didn't think he could really dance. You know, I'm like, he's a little too, it's going to sound horrible, white for the rest of the crew.
He is the whitest.
Now, because he wasn't able to be who he wanted to be, he couldn't say, I'm gay.
Yeah.
Now that he is free, he has so much more personality. I love it. Mm-hmm. It's a shame that he didn't feel like he could say something beforehand. I understood why.
Yeah.
It's still not fair.
It's not fair, but yeah, we totally get it.
And before I go to Billboard, Justin's last album is called Everything I Thought It Was. And it's a really great album. If you want, it's more nostalgic, like it's more old school Justin. So he himself is kind of stuck in that era. So society has moved on from either you are, like me, stuck in that era, or you've moved on to all the new stuff, which is geared towards the younger audience. And I don't know if the younger audience sees Justin as my parents' music, you know?
Mm. We had a lot to talk about with Boy Band Confidential, so we're going to stop right here and we will pick it up next time with Boy Band Confidential Part 2. Check us out. Listeners, let us know what you thought about this week's discussion. We are on Instagram. Our handle is at GabBin Podcast. Go ahead and like and follow us while you're there, or you could email us. The email address is gabbinpodcast@gmail.com. Let us know what else we should be discussing. Check out our other podcast episodes. We are on all the major platforms where you can find your podcast. Please buy us a coffee. We could really use it.
Please do. We need it.
Until next time, thanks for listening to GabBin.
GabBin! We're GabBin. We're GabBin. We're GabBin. We're GabBin. We're GabBin. We're GabBin.